In this introductory javelin session, we're going to teach all of our students to perform a successful tip-down javelin throw. So we're going to start with a warm-up that's going to teach them the positions that we want to see on the runway. Then we're going to teach them how to grip and withdraw the javelin into the correct position. And then from here, we're going to work back on the runway, teaching them how to successfully run in, block, and release the javelin, that tip-down throw. So our first warm-up exercise is just going to be a simple side skip. We're going to use this to warm up our adductors, but we're also going to think about setting a nice tall posture, nice stiff ground contact, and creating this nice open chest that we're going to want to see in the throw. The next exercise we're going to use is karaokes. So we're going to use this to learn how to create separation between our lower body and our upper body that we want to see in the throw. So as we move, the aim is to create maximum distance, maximum range between our upper body and our feet. So now it's time to introduce our athletes to the javelin, and that means being able to grip it correctly. There's two main grips that we'll see in the textbooks. One is the V grip, where we have two fingers over the end of the binding, but this one isn't really used by professionals anymore. The one we're going to use is much simpler and much easier to use, and later on we'll see how it allows us to create spin on the javelin that helps with our flight. So all we're going to ask them to do is to take two fingers, to slide it all the way down to the binding, and then from there, pick it up and to very loosely grip the javelin. So now that we have the correct grip, we're going to work on controlling the tip. Now this is one of the most important aspects of the javelin, because if the tip goes too high, we're going to pull underneath the javelin and we don't get the correct flight. So we're going to use the high knee run to learn how to control this tip. So we're going to try and have the hand nice and high above the shoulder, and we're going to try as we run to keep the tip down and in front of our left eye. So this is going to make up the linear part of our approach. Now we need to learn how to withdraw the javelin into our crossover position. This is quite simple. If we already have our hand in a nice high position and we have the javelin tip over our left eye, all we have to do, instead of pulling the javelin back into position and losing this body shape, we're going to leave the javelin exactly where it is, and we're going to run underneath it, and we should see this javelin now on my right eye. So now we're in our withdrawal position. We're going to practice our crossovers. So we're going to try and keep this tip under control, our nice tall position, and we're going to step the right foot in front of the left. Now, not only are we going to focus on having the right foot, but we also need to reach with the left to create a nice balanced run, and we're going to try and establish a rhythm on the runway. So now we're into the second part of our session, which is learning how to deliver the javelin. Now this is where our grip comes in useful. Using the traditional grip allows us to turn our hand in, allows us to turn our shoulder in, and this creates this nice C shape that we're looking for, and it gives us this nice tight javelin position. Now from here, when we want to throw, we're going to come from this internal rotation. We're going to turn our hand all the way over to point where we want the javelin to go, and this is what gives us the spin on the javelin and gives us that nice flight that we're looking for. So we're going to practice this in our spike exercise, where from a nice standing position, in our crossover position, we're going to turn the javelin in, and we're going to turn the javelin out and point where we want it to go to deliver. So now that we've worked on this accurate release, we're going to add some range to our throw. So we're going to take our same front on position, and this time we're going to load the back leg to add this range, taking the javelin back as far as we can, and we're going to transfer to the front leg and then deliver the same way. Now, before we start to add speed, we need to learn how to stop that speed so we can transfer it to the javelin. So we use a single leg block exercise to learn how to stop in a nice strong position and then deliver our standing throw. So we're going to come into our standing throw, we're going to step behind with the back leg, and then we're going to step forward, stop the movement, and then deliver the throw. So now we've created a nice basic throw. We've got nice high hand position. We've got a javelin locked in place with this internal rotation. And we've got a nice even rhythm on the runway into a block. Chance now to take it back on the runway to a 5 or 7 step approach. Add a little bit of speed. Come in, deliver the javelin with that nice spin and see how far we can throw.